Hey YouTube, it's Marida and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. And in this edition, we're going to talk about, do you know your worth as a nurse? If you want to see what I'm talking about, please stay tuned. Back. My name is Dr. Marida P. I am a registered nurse, been a nurse for 16 years. I'm an OB/GYN, well baby, nursery nurse. I am a nurse educator, associate professor, working at HBCU, doctorally prepared. And today we're going to talk about, do you know your worth as a nurse? So I wanted to do this video because I have heard so many nurses, and this is not a race video, really. This is really about nurses collectively, how we as a group of nurses feel like we are beneath certain people and things like that, like we're not valued. And unfortunately, sometimes society makes us feel like we're not valued. However, I always ask students this one question, and I'm going to ask you the same question, and I want you to think about this, and you'll know how valuable you are when you change your mindset. So if you work in a hospital setting or even a clinic setting, well, first, let me give you this fact, okay? Nurses are the number one group, the highest amount of people, number one group in the healthcare industry is nurses. We represent the largest group of people in healthcare. So with that being said, all the nurses we have in the world, or let's just break it down to your facility specifically. In your facility specifically, if all the nurses was to walk out today from the hospital or clinic, could your hospital run effectively? Think about that. The answer is no. We already know that. If all the nurses was to walk out right now, it is now 7:02 at night where I'm at in Nashville, Tennessee, and most nurses who work in a hospital would have just started their shifts, okay? They either started between 6:45 to say 7:30 at night, depending on how their shift change happens to be. But they have just relatively started their shifts or about to start their shifts. If all the night shift nurses, as I speak on this video right now, were to walk out and say, we are not coming in, we're going on strike at your facility, that hospital could not run. It couldn't. So with that being said, I want you to understand how valuable you truly are when it comes to being a nurse. And I want to impress the importance upon you to say that I know people get on you, make you feel like you're not worthy. And I want you to understand that you really are. And because of the fact that they say that is the reason why you should know that you are. I have battled when I first started being a nurse with confidence in terms of, am I truly valuable here? And then I thought about it and I said, the doctor's not even here much. The doctor is here for like 15 minutes, an entire 12-hour shift, if that, okay? He sees, and in that 15 minutes, he or she is seeing all of their patients. So it's very rare on a normal day that he or she comes in and actually spends time with patients, because he or she typically does not do that because they have to get back usually to the clinic, to the office, to work. Or they have surgeries or they have procedures they have to get done that day. So with that being said, who is the true MVP of the hospital in direct patient care? Continuous direct patient care. So of course, respiratory therapists and PT and OT and all these people are valuable. Yes, we're talking about specifically nursing today though. I want you to know how valuable you are, your worth as a nurse. So at the very beginning, I would always, probably because I was not confident because I didn't know much. And if you are a new nurse, you're not going to know much probably for the first couple of years. It's not going to hit you till about year 1 to 2, depending on your area and what you're doing and how often you're doing it, before you feel a bit more comfortable in your role. That's a normal feeling. However, when doctors come in and tell you, did you do this, did you do that? You know, you may have forgotten or you didn't know or things like that. That's normal. That's okay. However, I want you to understand your value as a nurse is based on how you yourself see yourself. If everybody makes you feel like that you're not valuable, it's because you allow them to. And when I think about the fact that I'm taking care of 6 patients at a time, when I think about the fact that, or when I was in the bedside, taking care of 6 patients at a time, when I think about the fact that they all relied on me to get better, when I think about the fact that I had situations in which I wasn't prepared for, but I figured it out, and I had situations where people almost died and they lived. I had situations where people, I didn't know what was wrong, but I knew something was not right, and I called rapid response, and they're still living today because I called rapid response. I would say I'm pretty valuable. When I have to call the physician and say, this is the situation and this is what I need, I'm not asking him or her for his recommendation. Well, you do, the S-bar, which is situation background assessment, and our recommendation comes from the nurse. So you're the one who says, I need an H&H, I need labs, I need this medication, I need whatever. You're the one who says that. And he or she typically agrees or not, type of thing. If you're a new nurse, you may not know how to do that, but that's the truth. That's how it works. But with all that being said, you as a nurse are the nurse. You somebody's auntie, you somebody's mom, you somebody's sister, somebody's confidant, somebody's inspiration, somebody's will to live. You are a lot of things to a lot of people that you don't even know. For some patients I've had, they look at me, it's like, wow, I think I want to be a nurse because you're a nurse because you're Black. I'm here for that. You're here because of various reasons. So you're valuable. And unfortunately, we have people in this world who will make you feel like, now this part can be race related, or it could be ego driven, can make you feel like that you're not. I remember the one time I was going to apply for an apartment. It was years ago. And the guy was like, the management person or whatever was like, oh, are you just a nurse? Oh, well, that's the last thing you want to say to a nurse is, are you just a nurse? Because it's going to be just the nurse who saves your life. It's going to be that just the nurse person who actually takes care of you. Needless to say, after he said that, I had a few choice words for him and I walked out. Didn't want the apartment after that. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, don't let anybody else make you feel like you're not of value because you are a LPN. Or you're not of value because you are an ADN. Or you're not of value because you didn't go on to do something that, you know, how I feel about going on to do more in nursing. But this is not about that video. This is about who you are today. And don't let anybody discourage you from moving on to be what you needed to be, or to think there's no value in being who you are. This is not a LPN versus RN versus advanced practice anything. This is not a Black versus white thing. This is truly a nurse versus society type thing. Make sure you understand that people will not value you, but you have to know your value. You have to know your worth. Do you know your worth as a nurse? Do you know that you're the one who is the one who saves people's lives? Do you know you're the one who sometimes you're not on the end of the spectrum where you're saving lives, but it's time for them to transition? And you're the one who held their hand when they transitioned. You're the one, because of COVID, who, depending on where you are, didn't allow people to come in to visit loved ones, and you were the last person there before they died. That's value. You hold a special part in somebody's heart. You're the ones who, you know, told somebody what's going on. You were the one who was that patient advocate. You're the one who showed compassion when nobody else would. You're the one who had a patient who's a forensic patient, a prison patient, whatever, who you treated them like a person and not like an inmate. You did that. You're the one who got that child to take the medicine because they wouldn't take the medicine for nobody else. You're the one who helped the mom have her baby because the dad is absent. You're the one who called something because the doctor missed it. You are valuable. So you need to know your worth. You need to know that, no, I may not know everything today. No, I do know that I make mistakes, but who doesn't? And so where that confidence comes from, me knowing my value, is to know that, no, I don't know everything, but neither do you. That's the issue. That's the thing. You don't know everything either. And I'm here to learn the same way as you are there to learn. I had a day one the same way as you had a day one. We are all valuable in our own right of who we are, but I don't want you to be in the mindset of people making you feel like you are less than just because of the fact that you're just a nurse, as people say. Collectively, as a nurse, collectively, we are people who, if you come and attack nurses, we will collectively come back for you. But you yourself, I want you to understand that you being a nurse is the best thing that you could have done to help people that you don't even know. And I want you to know, as a nurse, that is your responsibility to know how to care for your patient population, how to take care of your patients, how to ask questions if you don't know something, how to get help if you don't know something. It is your responsibility to be that patient's advocate. It's your responsibility to tell the doctor, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that, or no, that doesn't make sense, and be able to give your rationale why. It is your responsibility to be able to go to a nurse manager and say, no, I'm not going to work 6 shifts in a row. No, I'm not going to come in for double overtime. No, I am not going to take that 7th or 8th or 9th patient, because you know your value as a nurse. You know your value so much that you're not going to take the BS that your management tries to provide you or put upon you. And if you're not in a position to walk away at this moment in time, you will be in a position one day if you set yourself up right for it. You have to know when it's your time to go. You have to know your worth. The same thing you would know your worth in any type of relationship with anyone. If you're in a relationship and you know your worth in that, you have to know your worth as a nurse as well, because people will run all over you. Your patients will run over you. Your doctors will run over you. Your other nurses will run over you. Who's protecting you? Know your worth. I have developed an attitude, because of the fact that I do have options. I have developed an attitude as to where I'm not afraid to walk at any point in time. So I have options. That's why I can do that. If you don't have options, it's very hard to do so, but you can do so if you have options. So I definitely want you to know your worth. I want you to know your worth. I want you to know how valuable you are to the team, even if they don't recognize it. And if you feel like you're not being valued or supported where you are, then it's important for you to go find a location in which you can be valued and supported. That is so important in terms of your growth as a person and your growth as a nurse. So with that being said, do you know your worth? Do you know why you're here? Do you know why you want to become a nurse, or why you became a nurse? Does that reason still hold true today? Because if it doesn't hold true today, is it time for you to evaluate when it's time to go? So do you know your worth? Let's chat in the comments. My name is Dr. Marida P. You can follow me on IG if you so choose. Until the next time, you all take care. Bye-bye.